the light bulb went off that we can take data and we can massage it in a way that we want to look at something a certain way, and we want the interface to look like this, because we have designers that work in our store. We employ designers, and they want to see a pretty thing. They don't want to see a software.
Right.
They just want to see it work.
This is AI with Kai. Practical AI for real business leaders. We break down what matters, talk with people using AI in real businesses, and share one idea you can use right away.
Hey everyone, welcome. I'm Kai with AI with Kai, here with Tim Scott. Hey, Tim.
Hey, how's it going, Kai?
It's going well.
It's another great day in Fairhope, Alabama. It's hard not to be in a good mood because I rode up here on the golf cart, looked at the bay, saw some sailboats,
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like, this is it, man.
I agree. That's such a good perspective. I totally agree. And I rode up here on a one wheel. So, I think that captures Fairhope. This is how everyone gets around. It's just, weird vehicles all the time, and monster trucks.
Mm-hmm. I've seen a few of those.
As you said, it is a great day to talk about AI.
The Rundown. 5 AI stories you need to know right now.
Anthropic has launched Claude for small business, a package announced May 13th that embeds Claude directly into the tools small businesses already use, including QuickBooks, PayPal, HubSpot, Canva, DocuSign, Google Workspace, and Microsoft 365. The offering addresses the reality that while small businesses account for 44% of U.S. GDP and employ nearly half the private workforce, their AI adoption has lagged behind larger enterprises. So if you're a small business that's using Claude, I encourage you to check out Claude for small business. Seems like a great offering from them. Next up, a study from SAS and IDC, which surveyed 1,600 SMB leaders across 28 countries and found nearly 70% are still in the experimental or optimistic stages of AI maturity. The pattern: disconnected pilots, no unified strategy, lots of tools, no business impact. We're actually going to talk to Gardner in just a bit about some of these exact things and his experience with those. But if you're in this camp of that 70% and you're a small business and you're finding that you have these sort of disconnected pilots, or you're building a lot of one-off tools, just know that you're not alone. And this is right now where the industry is when it comes to AI in small business. Next up, OpenAI beefs up ChatGPT's image generation model. So if you're a ChatGPT user, you probably noticed the last time you opened up the app that you were introduced to their new image model, Images 2.0. So it's actually been around for a few weeks, but it introduces some very significant upgrades to their image generation capabilities. This model represents a major evolution beyond previous systems, particularly Sora. So if you remember, ChatGPT had pivoted and made Sora a social media type app. They've pulled that back in to the main application, and at the same time have now upgraded their image capabilities. This is important for businesses, particularly in the marketing and design space. So right now, Gemini's Nano Banana 2 has really taken the lead. I think ChatGPT is now going to offer them some very stiff competition. And I encourage folks to check it out if you're incorporating AI-generated designs into your marketing and advertising and things like that. Finally, Visita went fully agentic this week. The SMB company Visita rolled out its Biz AI as a fully agentic experience. Owners can now ask things like, which clients owe me money, or resend that invoice in plain language, and the agent acts on it.
Hey, Kai, my agent just popped up and said that you owe me money.
Damn it. It's already happened. No, I mean, this is, I think that this is a really big one for small businesses because, as the owner of a small business, I can tell you how much I hate dealing with all things accounting, and especially sending invoices and tracking who's paid me. And I just had a conversation with a small business owner yesterday, and we were both complaining about the exact same thing. And she said at one point, she's like, part of me just wants to make it free so I don't have to deal with invoicing. So this is the kind of thing that I think is really going to help small businesses.
Maybe AI can have a mafia agent. They could go around and collect dues.
A collector, someone to sort of shake down people. Not sure we want AI going there, but it may be going there anyways.
The Spotlight: How real businesses are using AI.
Hi, I'm Gardner Malouf. I'm owner and president of Malouf Furniture Design.
Gardner Malouf is the third-generation owner and president of Malouf Furniture Design, the Gulf Coast's premier furniture retailer, founded by his grandfather in 1946 in Greenwood, Mississippi. In 2000, Gardner expanded the family business to Foley, Alabama, transforming an old burned building into what is today a 60,000 square foot showroom servicing Foley, Mobile, Fairhope, Daphne, and Gulf Shores. He's spent 25 years operating the business through hurricanes, floods, the 2010 oil spill, and the economic shifts in between. And he's been on the record framing the business around continuous improvement, automation, and doing more with less. Gardner, welcome to the podcast. We're so happy you're here.
Absolutely.
I'd love to talk a little bit about your interest in AI and why the owner of a very large furniture company is so interested in AI.
If we go back just a little bit, our store's been in a kind of a transformative state in the last probably 7-8 years. And we decided about 8 years ago, we're really going to focus on our culture, focus on, every company has a culture. It's whether you are intentional about it and what you're doing with it. And we felt like our customer we're kind of entering or have been in an experience economy. Mm-hmm. And that's where we were headed. And if we didn't get on board with that, we were going to get left behind. And that was really got us moving, and our brains kind of, hey, we can't do things the same way. We first realized that to give a great experience, we had to work on our team. And our teams had to have a great experience in the store when they came to work every day. And so our managers, our team leads, we really focused on that and saying, hey, things have to change. It was a great environment. It wasn't that it wasn't. It's just we weren't being intentional about it. COVID hits, and we realize communication is terrible amongst our industry. We've got vendors that are communicating in all different languages. We've got different softwares, and I say we, the furniture stores across the country. And there was a breakdown. Obviously, you couldn't get furniture for 8 or 10 months. Yeah, there was things happening, and we were trying to create an amazing experience during that. Well, how could you do that? Mm-hmm. How could that be an amazing experience? We were living with a customer instead of if they special ordered something 8 weeks, we're now living with them for 8 months. And so how can we create an experience that they'll want to shop with us again? Because this isn't who we are. Yep. And so that really started, what all can we do? And with our data and with our software, we've realized we couldn't do much. It was all human grit, human pain to try to communicate with our customers. In the world of Amazon sending you, hey, your stuff's on your way, right? We couldn't really give you a straight answer of what was happening. All we could do is pass the communication along, and we had to do it by a human calling and finding out a date and then passing that date along, and then half the time that being wrong. So we've been kind of yearning for something to be able to say, yes, we can do something, because for so long with our software, it's been, no, you can't do that. You have to run the business this way, or you have to run the business that way, because our data is not mobile enough. Right. And so that's really what got us interested.
You have one of the best management quotes I've ever heard, which was and I'm paraphrasing, but basically you said, you can't have happy customers without happy employees. Right. Which I thought was just, just a very enlightened management thing. I don't think you hear that a lot. So getting back to your discussion about sort of culture and things like that, I thought that was a really, really interesting thing. And especially from the perspective of AI, where a lot of employees are worried about AI, right? And so you're the leader of a company who clearly cares about your culture and your employees, and also AI. So that you don't see the two as being sort of a zero-sum game.
No, I actually see that AI can create a better experience, not only for our customer and our guests, but for our employees first. And that's really been my focus is what can I get into my team leads and leaders in the store, and what can we get to our entire company that can create a better experience for them, a better interface for them. They don't have to, look like they're, looking at a rocket ship dashboard that they're flying something. So that was the first thought, is when the light bulb went off, that we can take data and we can massage it in a way that we want to look at something a certain way, and we want the interface to look like this, because we have designers that work in our store. We employ designers, and they want to see a pretty thing. They don't want to see a software.
Right.
They just want to see it work, like when you have an Apple phone, it just works.
Yep.
So our thought is, how can we create a better experience for our employees, for our teams, to then turn around and give a better experience to our customer with AI. So that's really been the thing that's probably set it off the most. Now, I've been very sensitive about how we're rolling this out, and because you're helping, we're right on the front end of this. And so I only have a few people in the store that really are working directly with building some tools.
Right.
And so I picked about 4 others, and we're meeting about every 2 weeks. We've skipped a couple of weeks because we've been out of town, and we're talking about how did we basically incorporate something that we built into our jobs that have helped that. And so I just want to get in that room. They were scared of it, but I just want to create some interest, because everything that I've read and everything that I've listened to, 90% of these projects fail.
Right.
And it's because we talked about it prior to the podcast, but it's because the top dishes it off, and they don't learn it themselves. And this just isn't a project to dish off. Right. I mean, we're coming up with all these things, and they're like, oh gosh, there's Gardner again, coming up with a new thing. But now I'm actually learning it at a pace that they are as well.
Yeah.
And so first, it has to be that. Second, I feel like you get a group that can then come up with some tools that see that it can help their job, but not scare everybody in the entire company.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's kind of where we're at.
You're not positioning it as a replacement for people.
No.
No.
Sort of, I want to show how it can help their daily job, how we can take some of the mundane, repetitive type work and be more customer facing, so we can give a better experience. We can take that time, and we have great people, amazing people working at the store. I'm humbled by it every day that how they pour their hearts into the store and want to do great things. They truly, truly do. And so I want to make sure that I'm adding to that. I'm adding gas to that fire, not extinguishing it with this, hey, we're going to AI, we're going to listen to you, and we're going to do this and that. I mean, that's not what the goal is here. So being very sensitive about it. And so that's why I wanted, when you and I met, is that we're trying to build an operating system. We're not trying to build a shiny little tool.
That's a good point. So when you talk about an operating system, can you talk a little bit about what that means to you? Sort of in your vision for an operating system, what does that look like?
Earlier, I explained how we have data, and the data from different vendors and different parts of our business don't talk to each other. And so what we are doing and what you're doing for us is building a data layer, skim layer that we are going to be able to build. I call it a tree trunk of AI on top of it, but we're able to take all of our HR, we're able to take all of our inventory, we're able to take all of our sales, we're able to take all of our CRM and pour it into this layer. So then we can then mix it however we want to. And versus one of those verticals, say, if HR just having its own AI, or sales and that data having its own, CRM having its own, and it's not playing together.
Right.
And so I'm excited about it. A lot of this is in front of us, so we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what all we can do with it. I mean, our team, at least the team that is focused on working with some of it right now, is they're pretty fired up. And
That's great.
I don't know about the rest of the company, but I'm sure they've heard some things, but we're not, pushing it on them right now.
If they listen to this podcast, they might hear some stuff. You might want to update it. Tell me just a little bit about the furniture industry and where you see the industry in terms of adoption of AI and new technology like that.
When websites came out, furniture industries were like, no. That's still kind of how we are in a way. I don't know how quickly this is going to move. You hear some of it. It's more rumblings. It's most of the time when I talk about it, it's like, well, how's it going to sell more furniture for you? And and you can't lose that. I mean, you still have to run your business. Right. I mean, it's this core of who we are. It's servicing the customer and having beautiful furniture and being able to do, go in and design entire spaces. And that's the core of who we are. So we got to continue to focus on that. But so I don't know that there's a pushback. I just know that there's just a little bit of interest out there. Mm-hmm. Some of the larger manufacturers are trying to clean up some of their data to be able to move it for more of a website back in, help you support that.
I couldn't imagine a furniture company not having a website now, right? And being able to browse, colors and fabrics and all of that stuff. I think about my own or my wife's furniture shopping that I've gone along with her, and she goes into the furniture store already having spent lots of time on your website and knows exactly what she wants to look at. Right? It's like she comes in as a fairly informed person, and your team helps her sort of manage that, but she's not going in sort of just wide-eyed, I have no idea what I want or things like that, right? And so I imagine AI is going to have that same sort of impact, right? It's, we're going to get to the point where we can't imagine a furniture store that's not employing AI to do those sorts of things. It'll seem very weird.
And even the generation coming up right now, they want to touch, feel, they'd like to sit in it. Yeah. If you had the option to sit or not sit, you'd rather sit.
Yeah.
And so we feel like we can take the online or take the AI and then make it into real life by servicing the customer, whether we're going to the customer's house and actually showing the sofa digitally, through some sort of software that we currently have that we can put the fabric and show it into your space and see it right there to scale, and then just ensuring those types of things to all kinds of different things. But you bring up the website, and the website's a perfect example of where we're at. We have one of the best industry websites. Now, I call it an industry website because it's a furniture solution website, but it's still lagging behind. So we're attacking it aggressively right now to make it more automated, where you can actually shop it a little more. People don't search websites, they shop websites.
So what AI tools are you using currently or thinking about using?
One of the things that we're doing is using ElevenLabs. It's doing all of our voiceover for all of our video ads. Video ads are being distributed in different ways now. So it's handling the voiceover, and we can change it to any voice we want. They have quite a few. That's one of the things that we're doing. We also are looking at AI receptionists. Right now, if you call us, we have a phone tree. Mm-hmm. And so it's not a great experience. But so the first thing everybody's like, well, I don't want to have an AI receptionist. That sounds cold.
Right.
But right now you call us and it's a phone tree.
Right.
So that's cold, but people are just more used to it. And they just hit one, And so the AI receptionist will actually say, hey, I'm such and such AI receptionist. Yep. Where can I get you? And so we'll get you quicker to the right person to be able to answer your question. that we find that would be a better experience for not only the customer calling, but for also our team on the inside. We're using Claude as well in a big way. So Claude Cowork, Claude Code as well. My friends have banned me from saying the word vibe coding. They're like, "Who are you? Quit saying that. Don't ever say that again."
That's great.
And so I don't care. I still say it. But I didn't know that we were doing that, but we have been vibe coding in a way, which is scary and fun and everything else.
Folks, that's Gardner Malouf of Malouf Furniture Design and Foley. The big thing I want you to take away from this is how Gardner is using AI to empower his business, empower his employees, and create a better experience.
The Playbook. One practical way to use AI right away.
All right, for the playbook this week, I want to talk about something that is a passion of mine, and I talk about it a lot, and that's about prompting. So there was a year ago or 2 years ago, prompt engineering was all the rage. In fact, there were university courses being offered in prompt engineering. So prompt engineering was just developing the prompts that you put into AI to get the output that you wanted, right? And so companies were hiring people basically to craft more complex or more elegant prompts to get sort of higher output from their AI.
So the way that I use it is I just continue to change up my prompt until I get the output I'm looking for.
And you are a prompt engineer.
Okay.
So what happened is like prompt engineering was all the rage, and then it kind of fell out, right? It went away and people stopped talking about it. But that didn't change the fact that prompting is the single most important thing that you can do to influence the output of AI, right? Sort of what you put in is what you're going to get out, the garbage in, garbage out type thing.
Right.
And there's all sorts of different methods of prompting. And the one I want to talk about today is called argumentative prompting. And it's not trying to get AI to argue with you. It's trying to get AI to argue with itself. So the idea is you're trying to test the validity of an idea. And right now, if you go to AI and you say, "What do you think of this idea?" AI is going to come back with a resounding, "This is brilliant. Great job, Kai. This is great." It's not going to actually tell you the truth. It's very sycophantic. It's everyone knows this about AI. Argumentative prompting positions AI to do something else. And what you do is you say, I want you to take both sides of this position. So I believe the sky is blue. I want you to argue passionately for why that is correct using logic and science. And I want you to argue passionately why that's incorrect using science and logic. And you'll notice that the model calls on two sides of itself effectively, and it will make arguments much like a lawyer on both sides. And then, in most cases, the AI model will then act as a judge and pick the best one, and it'll say, "Oh, based on the arguing for it, that made more sense. In fact, the sky is blue." While it's a nonsensical idea, when you're testing out ideas, argumentative prompting is extremely effective in teasing out an actual valid observation from AI that's not just giving you back what you think, right? You're pitting it against itself. And so I have found this, I've started to incorporate this into a lot of things when I'm just exploring an idea and I don't really know, I may not have a sort of a real definitive opinion on it. It's just like, well, is this good or bad? Should I do this thing? Is this the right way to do something? And so I'll put it into this argumentative generative prompt. And so ChatGPT typically does something very interesting where it splits the screen into two columns and it writes them out at the same time. Claude will just do one on top of the other, but you'll see two very different arguments come up. And then in 100% of my cases, it will then say, well, based on all of these facts, I'm going to go with, number 2 or number 1. So I encourage folks to give it a try. Again, this is part of a broader theme around really spending time working on your prompting, because that's going to have the single biggest payback for you.
That is really eye-opening. I just thought I was brilliant. I haven't been prompting correctly.
Well, folks, that's a wrap. Thank you very much for your time today. As always, it's great to talk to everyone about AI. I want to thank everyone for all the support we get. It means a lot to us. If you like the podcast, please tell a friend. And that's it.
You're listening to AI with Kai. For more episodes, practical tools, and business insights, visit aiwithkai.com. Follow the show wherever you listen to podcasts and share it with someone building a business on the Gulf Coast.